All right, everybody. Now, lesson 2.2, activity 2.2. In this one, you guys are learning more about the actual neurons themselves and the makeup of them. All right. What you're going to see here is the picture of the neuron, which you guys have created. If you were here last week with the sub, you have created a rough draft of this neuron as well as what materials you are going to use to actually build it. We will build our neurons Tuesday, Wednesday in class with the materials that you guys picked out. All right, so the neurons, okay, nerves send signals to and from the central nervous system like a two-way highway. Remember what we talked about with sensory neurons and motor neurons. Okay, those are repeated here, talking about those two. Sensory collects senses, motor moves the muscles. All right. You need to know a couple things about the neurons for this lesson and for your questions. Okay, pay attention to the different parts. All right, the myelin sheath is a very important part. It actually coats or surrounds the axon, and it tells you down here the myelin sheath is a fatty substance that surrounds the axon and increases the speed signal travels. So myelin sheath protects or coats it. That way it kind of keeps the signal from breaking down. It's kind of like if you had a power cord that was frayed and the plastic was off of it, it may affect how that cord works. Keep that in mind when you come up with a question that talks about how it can be damaged and what would happen if something was damaged. All right, the other thing to pay attention to is on this little GIF, it's showing you the direction signal travels. Notice that the synapse, okay, is that gap between the two neurons. That gap, the signal actually jumps to the next dendrite, okay? So the synapse is a gap between multiple neurons. All right. Things to keep in mind on this lesson is paying attention to the direction signal travels, okay, being aware of the parts of the neuron up here. And I think for the most part, lesson 2.2 is a lot simpler, a lot less information, okay? I'm going to also review real quick what you're going to do next, okay? Because that would complete lesson 2.2 once we make our neuron. Moving on to lesson 2.3, you are going to start reading that today. Make sure that you read. There's a lot of information here. On lesson 2.3, you're going to read all the text. Okay, it's going to go through the different types of neurological exams, different tests that they can do on the nerves or the neurons or the nervous system in general. So go through and you are going to read and highlight. Okay, you can see that I've done some highlighting on mine. I want you to spend time reading and understanding the 4 different types of tests. And then once you've read through everything, come back up here above the image here. And you're going to see right here where it says medical file under number 1. It also is posted way up at the top under resources. Click on the medical file. I want you to read, highlight, and once you do that, read and highlight through that case file. Notice this is not a disease, it's a neurological issue. After you've read through there and understand what it's talking about, you're going to come clear down to the bottom of 2.3, and I want you to think through your answers for these 2 questions. Okay, you could even write them down and save them so that we can talk about them in class next time we are in class together. Okay, so that is what you're doing today. You're going to spend time reviewing 2.1, 2.2, making sure your questions are really good on the review questions. Some of you have awesome answers, but some of you have like 2 words. That is going to be needing to be updated, okay? If you go to Google Classroom, click on the review questions, you can go back in and edit your answers. Spend time doing that. Spend time reviewing lesson 2.3 so we're ready to go tomorrow. All righty. I hope you guys have a great day. I promise I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks.